All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another CEJA office hours session. Today we'll be going over documenting services. But first, let me just check to see if there's any updates I want to share here that we have going out tomorrow evening. Let's see here. Think we should have something with some of the reports here. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so there are a few updates to go over. One of them was there was an issue when accessing in the system um, the narrative report, where if you would go to it and you filtered to it, an error message would pop up. Let's see here. Yeah. So that's been resolved. We'll have that update going out tomorrow night. Let's see if there's any other bugs. Responding. Okay. And there was an issue where, well, one of them was, go back to a customer here. This update profile section wasn't always responding when changes were made to it. I think it had something to do if a social security number was entered and we had the last four here. I think for some reason, if you made changes to other fields, it wasn't updating. It seemed like just kind of the presence of the SSN might have thrown some things off, but that's been corrected. And we had an issue where sub navigators were not able to see the intake tab for some of their customers. We discovered that through, let me show some screenshots here. There was a sub navigator who was wanting to respond to a transfer request, but when they clicked, that name, there was the customer that was included in there. And then when they clicked the customer's name, they saw the progress page, but not the intake page where they can actually respond to the request. So we have that update going out as well. And then there was another issue where there was a grantee brought up that there was a customer, um, or, we had these, service needs assessment, identified, but we can see here in this screenshot that, we have either the service provided or the costs entered. None of them were a cost estimate. And it looks like for some reason, the cost for the other stipend, um, even though there was one listed, it showed zero as the quantity, and that was what was throwing off the flag here. So we have an update going out for that as well. So those were the bugs, and then let me see. It looked like we had some other updates. Looked like maybe a text update. Just removing it. I don't think that's really worth going over there. And yeah, so those are the updates that we have going out tomorrow evening. And Friday morning, they'll be available in the production environment. Um, but with that, before going over to the demonstration part of the call today, I just wanted to open it up to see if there's any questions that anyone had. You can unmute and ask away or enter them in the chat. questions or anything you'd like for us to walk through that may not be documenting services? Well, if not, there will be another opportunity to ask questions after the demonstration, but feel free to enter any chat questions in the chat while we walk through this. So in the previous call, we went over the intake process for a customer. And this customer that I have here, we completed the intake portion here. So we're ready to document services. We did identify a couple needs for this customer in the service needs assessment area. So we'll work on that. So to access the career plan, we can either click this tab up here for career plan, or down here at the bottom, go to the customers training and services career plan. See, and it should take us to, yeah, the same tab. So we'll need one of these. We have our plan overview tab here, which, off to the left, there's nothing really new here. We have the profile section for, the customer's information, some related instructions and participant summary tools. We don't really have to worry about this section right here for CEJA. And then these two areas for assessments and desired career path. These are tied to, on the workNet site, customers have, the option to, complete these, assessments and, other tools to identify their career path. And when they're logged in and select those, then, those selections, appear here. But again, not something we really need to worry about. And as services and goals are completed and credentials earned, we'll see, that summary right here. And then down here, we have a career plan view. This is more of a condensed view of the tab that we're about to go to, which is the add steps and services. And the add step services tab, let's see. So we're logged in as Climate Works, and we have the pre-apprenticeship training service pull over by default. And for Workforce Hubs, it is the Bridge training program service. And let's see, we're currently an applicant. I'm not sure why that's not flowing through here, but we'll become enrolled once we begin a service. So to edit a service, we'll click this pencil icon here. And we can see we have a few tabs up at the top. This first one, status default, the goal, complete training, that's the one it's been assigned to. The plan start date, say today's date, and the plan completion date, say the end of the month. With the status of started/open. And then we'll enter in the average weekly hours. If there's any additional notes, we can add them here, but we'll also be entering a case note when we update the service. And if we go to update the service, we'll have the case note window. Let's see, customer has training. We have the case note header and then the case note itself. And we'll click to add, but just a reminder that if you see this error message here, the provider ID field is required. That is referring to the service provider tab, which if we click here, we can select our organization and then the program. And then if we click the update customer service button again, we should see, the case note info that we tried entering the first time. So we'll click that. And we'll see that the service has been updated. And if we check this here, we'll see, I don't know why it's not showing there. Let's go back to the progress page. If we refresh this status over here, we can see that the customer is enrolled. So once we've started a service, started open, and the planned start date, is either today's date or a date in the past, then they'll be enrolled. The system will, update that automatically. So let's see, we've updated this first tab here and service provider. Since this is a training service, in order to mark it as successfully complete, we do need to enter a post-assessment score of 70 or higher. So for instance, if we did not enter that, or if the assessment is below 70, let's see here, if I try to update as complete service, then we should see, this error message here, post-assessment passing level not met. So then we'll need to go to this post-assessments tab, click the button to add post-assessment. Enter a score and the date, click save. And so then if we update the customer service, click to add the case note, this should process here. All right, we see it's complete. And the post-assessment is right here as well. And then if we go to the Earn Credentials tab, if the customer's earned any credentials here, we can add them here. So we have the CEJA credentials. These are hard-coded on the training services. So if you select one of these buttons, this window will pre-populate or populate with this pre-filled information. So then all we need to enter is the make a selection from the credential source dropdown and the date attained. And then if there was, I suppose anything we needed to adjust in the text here or add, we can certainly do so. Then we'll click save. The second set of radio buttons and credentials, these are tied to the training program that was set up. And specifically when we updated the service to community partnership and Macy's test program, because we had that selected as the service provider, these credentials are pulling through. And these were, again, the ones that were added when the training program was set up. And this will operate similarly to the options above. So if we click the radio button, that information will pre-fill based on what we entered. And we just, again, need to select the credential source and the date it was attained. And click save. And we can see both of those are in our list here. And if we needed to add one that maybe was not here, we can add that manually. We would just give that a name, credential source, the date attained, the credential type, the institution, and then a description of the credential. Click save. And again, that'll be added down here. If there was any changes that we needed to make, we could click view details, make those changes, click save. If we accidentally added a credential to a service, maybe it was intended for another customer, or we just need to remove it, we can click this remove button, and we'll see that that's been removed. All right. If we go back to our progress page, we should see a couple changes here. Let's see. So we are enrolled. We can see this pre-apprenticeship training service now as a status of successful completion. And let's see, we should also, see our credentials down here, the two that we saved and entered. We still need to address this here for first month rent. So we'll go back to our career plan. And if we're in a service and we select the add activities/services, this will just take us back one page here where we can get this overview here. And so we'll need to add a wraparound support service. So we'll click to add the service. Look through, or what I like to do is enter in this search here to narrow down the results. So we have our wraparound support service. We'll click to add. That will go to step 2, where we need to assign the service to a goal. So we'll click the pencil icon to edit. And then we will assign it to a goal. So let's say maybe complete training. We'll have today for the start date and end of the month for completion. Average weekly hours. The status, we'll say started open. And go ahead and select our provider now. And we'll click to update the service. Let's see. Background support for customer. And we'll click to add the case note. And we will then go to the dollar value of service. And so to add a cost, we'll click this button here, add service cost. And let me just go back to the progress page we were looking for. Okay, first month rent. And so in this first drop down for service type, we'll select the appropriate option here. So for first month rent, they'll be under housing assistance. But if you select, depending on what you select in this first drop down, so say these are transportation, then we have transportation related selections here. Same for our other options. And we do have a lot under other as well. We'll select housing assistance, first month rent for the payment method. Let's say direct payment, the payment start date, the individual payment cost, the number of times offered at this cost. Is it a cost estimate? Yes or no? Let's say we'll select yes for now. Is it paid by? And then is it a split payment? And if we wanted to, we could enter the invoice number here and enter any additional notes, but we'll click save. See that it's been saved here. And if we can see in our table here, all the information that we entered. And if we go back to our progress page and refresh, scroll down, we can see the cost has been added here. We have a total here. So if we add other costs here, that will tally up here, but with still a yellow flag. And if we look at this info bubble here, needs attention. That's the one for yellow. So the service that is needed still needs to be addressed. We did address it, or the wraparound service has an estimated cost that needs to be updated. So if we go back to our service and click to edit, this radio button, this is a cost estimate. Since we selected yes, that's why it's yellow. So maybe it was about $12.50, but it ended up being $12.75. We have we've confirmed the cost here. We can then change this to no, click save. If we go back here and refresh, this should turn to green. Yeah, there we go. And then just so we can see that totaling up there, I'm going to add another one here. So maybe housing assistance and deposit. Let's go through this again. Actually, maybe let me choose something else here. About utilities. So then we'll enter the payment cost here, number of times, let's say 3. Not a cost estimate. Select our paid by and split payment. Click save. And so then we can see our entry here. So 125, 3 times, totaling up to 375. And if we go back to our progress page and refresh, We can see, since this wasn't identified in the service needs assessment, but it was something that we added in here, it's showing up under other support transition services, 375, and we're totaling that up right here. Let's see here. So yeah, if we needed to come back, we already saw how to go back and make changes to edit. Just click this pencil icon, make the changes, and click save. If we needed to delete a cost, we can click the red X here. Let's see, just mark this as successful completion. Let's see, completed support. Should update to successful completion here. Okay, there we go. And I thought I saw a question in the chat related to this here. When adding the dollar value amount to service needs, what does the provide support service for computers in-house pair with? Let's see. Well, actually, let's find that out. So if we go to intake, and we go back to our service needs assessment. That's, I think, this one here, provide support service with computers in-house. Okay, so if we click, oops, get rid of that highlight there. So no, provide support service for computers in-house, and we'll update service needs assessment, and we should see this now. I need to refresh this, I bet. Okay, so provide support service for computers in-house. If we go back to our add service cost, let's see. I think that would be under other. And then let's see. I'm wondering if it's here or might be technology purchase. Let me try this here. Be my guess, but if it's wrong, we'll go ahead and look it up in this one document here. Okay, so yeah, technology purchase was the one here. So that would be again under for service type other and then service subtype technology purchase. And we do have a in our partner guide pages under policies and procedures, we do have like a mapping of this. So let's see, this would be under, yes, so under section or chapter 5 application, under the reporting system instructions, we have this document, service needs assessment and service alignment. If we open up this PDF here, there's kind of a lot. It's a 10-page document showing the different ones. So this was under, let's see, in the service needs assessment, I think it was technology assistance for virtual learning. So if we go back over here, that would be, B, and then it was, I think the second question here, yeah, do you have a computer that will allow you access to lessons, including online instruction? And if it's in-house support, yeah, so if it was in-house support, then we would add the wraparound service. We'd select other. It looks like we need to update this. It looks like technology rental would be acceptable as well. But in ours, we selected purchase. So let me make a note to update that document here. This is the service needs assessment, alignment, assistance, computer. Technology purchase. Okay. Okay. So I'll get that updated after our call here. Let's see. Do-do. If there are services that do not have a cost associated with them, how do we mark them as complete? I've been putting $0 for cost, but is there another way? Um, so would that be for, well, if it's a different service, a wraparound support service, you don't necessarily, I guess I might, defer to the grantees there. If it's not a wraparound support service, um, do we need a cost entered? But if it is a wraparound support service, um, that's provided in-house, then I
So
think we would, yeah.
examples I'll give for that, just so provide support service for accommodations in-house. There's no cost for that. Provide connection for mentorship or peer support in-house. There's no cost for that. Those are two examples that I have just in front of me here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in that case, yeah, if it's in-house, there's no, cost to be added. If you're entering 0, I think that would be okay. And I'm pretty sure, but if you go to like the progress page and refresh, does that still show like a yellow flag, or is it, turn to green so long as
As long as I put $0 in it,
0?
it does change it. I just didn't know if there was a different way to do that. I noticed on the sample page you had up, it actually just said service completed or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if there was something else I was supposed to be doing.
No, I think that would be, yeah, unless you always have something else in mind. I think that would be that sounds good. Good rule of thumb if it's, yeah, in-house and, no cost. See, there's another question here. Is there a way to remove a cohort under the work plan and reports tab? I don't believe so. That might need to be a programmer change here, but let me make sure here. So if we go back to our list here and we go to work plan and reports, cohort, let's see. Cohorts. Yeah, we don't have the ability to remove that, but if you want to, you can submit a help request, identifying the, cohort to be removed. And if there's any data cleanup we need to do, we can, work with you to, help move customers from one cohort to another. But yeah, you can send a help request and we'll, yeah, get that squared away. See, I might have seen another question here in the chat. Let me just take another look. Okay. Let me go back here, see if there's any notes on services wanted to mention here. Let's see. Over the training service, the wraparound service. I think that covers all the tabs really that we're going to see when we're in the career plan here. Probably cover it in our next session, the completion and follow-up, but it is related to services. But if you do see, no, I'm getting my programs mixed up. Apologies. Um, well, I guess the only other thing I would point out here is, if you see these little icons here, that just means this, kind of ribbon. This just means that a credential has been added to the service. And if we see the $sign, that at least one cost has been added to it. Let's see here. I guess there's a couple other tabs we could go over. This update log, really just more of an FYI. This will just show, changes to the services, when they were made, by which user. It'll show their serial tester one. That would show, okay, yeah, the name of the workNet user who, made those changes here. Yeah, we can see, updated dollar value tab, updated step provider tab. So again, really just an FYI, in case you see some customer data or, something looks off or something's changed, you can check out this tab to see if that would, might explain a thing or two. I don't know why I'm getting a error message on this. UAT, this test environment can be a little off sometimes. When will the mobile accessibility be updated? Good question. In our current round of updates, our programmer will be focusing on that. So I think over the next couple weeks, we'll have that in place. And once we do have that confirmed, we'll share that on the next reporting system office hours. But we are having a programmer currently looking into making that change. Are there any other questions or anything else? Well, if not, I'll give the RAs, Nate, Michelle, Larry, Diana, if there's anything you'd like to share or ask with the group.
This is Larry. I don't have anything.
Nothing for me either. Thanks.
Yeah.
Either.
Keep up the great work, everyone.
Yeah. And if anything comes up, definitely reach out to Natasha or myself or the RAs. You can submit a help request ticket. And like I said, I will get those instructions updated for that service needs assessment cost alignment for this tech assistance. And we'll get the webinar posted to the partner guide as well. All right, we'll go ahead and end early. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks,
Bye,
Al.
Thank you.
Thank you.